Our next guest serves on the House Intelligence Committee, so we're going to ask him about this latest shot at the FBI. But also, Republican Congressman Stewart says that former White House Communications Director Hope Hicks didn't get a fair shake when she testified this week. Congressman, great to have you with us live tonight.
Good to be with you. Thank you.
Okay, so let's start, first of all, with this letter that Congressman Nunes, the chair, has sent saying, I want this to be explained to me. Did the FBI break its own internal rules? Did it break criminal statutes? What do you make of the letter, which is getting plenty of pushback from the left?
Yeah, well, it's appropriate. Look, if you don't have verified, documented information before the FISA courts, then you have no due process. You've essentially lost the rule of law. For heaven's sakes, if you're a FISA court judge, do you want to be wondering whether the evidence presented before you is actually accurate? Do you want to wonder if it's just, in some cases, political garbage, like this dossier is? Or do you want them to presume that the FBI has vetted this information, that they've documented it, that they've verified it, that they know it's accurate? Of course, that's what these FISA court judges expect. And that just didn't happen in this case. And you can't just shrug that off and say, well, you know, we'll do better next time, or this is an exception. We have to know that that's not taking place.
Well, you know, the Democrats say that all of these allegations are baseless, that none of that did happen. In fact, in a response to Chairman Nunes' letter, we have the ranking Democrat, Adam Schiff, says this. Chairman Nunes continues his effort to attack and malign the honorable men and women of the FBI and Department of Justice. The Republican memo having been discredited, this new attempt to roil the department is little more than another transparent effort to defend President Trump by trying to discredit and distract from the special counsel and congressional investigations. All right, a lot to unpack there, but I want to start with this first part that he's setting up Chairman Nunes against the men and women of the FBI, which is clearly not the way that Republicans have phrased this so far. Is that a false, almost a straw man, saying that if you're going to criticize the issue here, then you're going after the men and women of the Bureau?
Well, of course it is. I mean, there's so much of what he said that's just nonsense. But since you chose that, let's start with this. I mean, is any agency or organization within the federal government above any oversight or above any reproach? Of course not. I was a member of the United States military. We had enormous power, but with that power came enormous responsibility. And we would ask the same thing of the FBI and the Department of Justice. And by the way, I have been contacted by more than a few FBI agents who have said to me, thank you for doing this. They recognize we're not attacking every member of this agency. We're not attacking every FBI agent. We're trying to hold a few people who were their leadership accountable. They want us to do that. How in the world can you say that this, by asking for accountability by their leadership, is a broad sweeping attack on the entire agency? It's absolutely nonsense.
All right, I want to make sure I get to a couple of other things. One is also this week, Congressman Schiff saying there is ample evidence of collusion. You also sit on the committee. What have you seen with regard to evidence of collusion?
Well, I've seen quite a lot of evidence of collusion between Hillary Clinton and the Russian. But look, I would say to my friend, Mr. Schiff, we've been looking at this for going on 15 months. If you have evidence of collusion, will you please share it with us? Because none of the rest of us have seen it. Neither has the American people. If you have evidence of collusion, please tell us what it is. But he's done this again and again, where he's come out and he makes these accusations and then says, well, wait, I can't share it with you. I mean, it's classified. And he's got to remember, you're making serious accusations against, in this case, innocent people. You're accusing them of treason, essentially. And it's had real impacts on their lives. And if you continue to make that accusation, even Dianne Feinstein has said there isn't evidence. If Mr. Schiff says he has evidence, then share it with us. And if you don't have the evidence, then don't continue to make the accusations.
Okay, Hope Hicks this week testified behind closed doors. It came out afterwards that she admitted to telling white lies occasionally for the president. But you said that you think she was being walked into a trap during the questioning. What can you tell us?
Oh, there's no question that that's true. I mean, we could see this happening as soon as the questioning began along these lines. By the way, she was there for nearly 9 hours. She was trying to answer these questions. But they asked her very, very broadly, have you in any way, fashion, or form against any matter or any subject ever told anything that would be deceitful or deceptive? Well, no one can answer that question perfectly. Of course, we've all had instances like that. When someone asks you if they look good in this new suit, sometimes they don't, and you may not be honest with them. And so we quickly jumped in and said, Ms. Hicks, we want to know regarding this investigation, regarding any accusations of collusion or conspiracy or treason or the hacking of the DNC, regarding any of those things, have you ever been told to not be truthful or to be dishonest? And she said adamantly, very clearly, no, I have not. But in some of my other interactions, for example, the example she used, that maybe Mr. Trump has been busy and someone wanted to see him, and I was instructed to tell him he wasn't available, he wasn't there. That's the normal course of, just human interaction. Sometimes we're not perfectly honest. And yet, as soon as she said that, someone on the committee goes out and talks to the press and says, yep, she was talking and she was told to be deceitful by the president. It just simply wasn't an honest portrayal of that conversation at all.
Well, we all, and Americans in general, I think, are ready for this to wrap and have some answers, as former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice said to Congressman Schiff yesterday. But we know there are still many things to do before this is resolved. So, Congressman, thank you for stopping in with us tonight. We await the findings of the committee.
Good to be with you. Thank you.
Thanks.